Power Grid is one of my favorite games right now. There are a lot of rules, but that complexity lets it model a surprising number of economic principles. If you need a refresher on the rules, check out our rules video here, or in the link in the description. A fundamental aspect of Power Grid is the resource supply pile. In order to fuel your power generators, you need to buy appropriate fuel. At the end of each round, the supply gets restocked according to the number of players and the stage of the game. But unlike other resource games, the supplies end up costing more when they become more popular. Let's look at an example. If everyone around the board is running their power plants on coal, everyone will be buying up coal at the lowest price slot. Prices might start low, but will quickly skyrocket as the available supply dwindles. Conversely, resources will slowly restock over time and the price will drop if no one is buying them. Once the price gets too low, no more resources are produced. Even scarce uranium can become worthwhile if there are not enough buyers to keep its price up. In economics, this is known as supply and demand. Market prices are affected by the ever-changing availability of supplies and the demand from consumers. While short-term shortages in resources or spikes in demand may cause sudden shocks to the market prices, they tend to settle out to a relatively stable equilibrium. On each player's turn, they have to balance their resources between buying power plants, buying fuel for their plants, and expanding their grid. If a player buys a power plant that they can't afford to run, they have wasted resources sitting idle. Even though there is a really fancy power plant up for auction, it may not help you if you spend all of your money bidding on it, but can't power any cities. It is important to use your money as efficiently as possible to win the game. In economics, this is known as scarcity. While you would love to take every option, you are forced to choose because you have limited resources. On a very similar note, the purchases that you make at one part of your turn have an impact on your other choices. Perhaps you are bidding on a power plant and you need to decide between raising your bid for a plant or buying something cheaper. By choosing to buy the more expensive plant, you are giving up the opportunity to spend that money you could have saved on additional cities or resources. Balancing the relative values of your choices like this is known as opportunity cost. With every decision that you make, there are alternative decisions that you could have taken instead that would have led to different outcomes. The difference between these outcomes is the effective cost of taking one option over the other. In other words, by choosing one option, you miss out on another. At the start of a game of Power Grid, each turn earns you a modest sum of money that helps you to build your little electric company. As the game progresses though, you will notice your incoming cash accelerates and your little electric company rapidly becomes an electric empire. Instead of growing at the same rate as the first few rounds of the game, everything that you have built in the past all works together to push you forward faster and faster. This acceleration is a great example of compound returns, which is something that you might typically experience with an investment or a savings account. When you first start saving money, it doesn't seem like you are earning very much. But as that earned income starts earning its own money, and that money starts earning money, you can quickly see your small sums snowball into something so much bigger. As a counterpoint to the compound returns, you probably also notice that players tend to bid more aggressively on power plants towards the end of the game. Resources tend to fly off the shelf as well. As everyone becomes more flush with cash, there is more demand on all of the game's resources. As a result, all prices tend to rise in unison. The game even accentuates this by removing the lowest cost power plants from the auction. This is similar to one of the ways our economy experiences inflation. As the demand for all resources in a market go up, the price for all of those resources go up to match. Just like we learned when talking about supply and demand. The issue here is that since all resources are affected at once and for a sustained period, it causes a price increase for all resources and shifts the economy as a whole, effectively changing the value of a dollar. There are many other factors that affect whether an economy will experience inflation too, such as droughts, floods, wars, or even fear. Though simple in principle, the causes of inflation can be pretty complex. So, it turns out that Power Grid makes use of all sorts of economics, from supply and demand for fuel, to the scarcity and opportunity cost of currency, and from exponential compound returns for your business to decaying value of money due to inflation. What do you think? Did we miss any other economic principles in Power Grid? What other games have helped demonstrate an abstract concept for you? Let us know in the comments. If you like this video and want to see more, we would love to have you as a subscriber. We're Games Explained.